elevator life. Glad you're watching this episode. We got a really exciting guest on the show today. When you're watching this, I'm going to be hopping around somewhere in Southeast Asia with Sean Ogle. Hopefully we're doing all right. But I'm excited with who we got on the show today. His name's Mike Shearhorn. He's been a good friend of ours here in China for a long time. You guys have probably seen his brand on the show a few times. I don't know, a few episodes ago we talked about the sweet shades that he makes here, knockonwoodies.com. And we're actually sporting some of your watches today.
Yes, sir.
Mike, introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing? Why are you in China?
First of all, Tim, thanks for having me.
My man.
Appreciate it. How you doing, everybody? My name, like Tim said, is Mike Shearhorn. I've been in China since February 2008. I have a sourcing company based out of Hong Kong, China. It's called SourceFind Asia. I've been based in Guangzhou most of the time, though most of our business is here in Guangzhou. Initially, back in 2008, I came as a business exchange student from the University of Florida. Go Gators. And, I don't know.
You were at the Gators when they were a dynasty.
At the peak. All 4 championships.
No better time.
Beautiful time. Beautiful time. But yeah, since then, I did the school program. After that, eventually led into me just being out here, hanging out, teaching English, kind of learning the ropes. Slowly started to get into the trade business, and then eventually, you know, about 2.5 years ago now, I was able to open my own company, and you know, full steam ahead now.
Awesome. Well, I know Mike really well. I met him a few years ago when we had just gotten to China. But I'm gonna ask a little question so they get to know you a little bit better.
Cool.
What brought you to China in the first place?
Well, like I said, I was in the business program at the University of Florida, and first I like to travel, so I like new cultures and to see different things, but I think more than anything it was just every business class, every single chapter of every single book, no matter the subject, was talking about China.
Boom.
And it was talking about what was happening, what's going on here, the type of growth that China's experiencing. And you know, I have a fascination myself with like the 1800s in the U.S., like the westward expansion, and I kind of feel that you get that reference a lot.
Definitely.
China,
Wild Wild West.
China's the Wild West, and I wanted to see it. I like the action, basically.
What do you think of the Chinese culture?
Chinese culture.
He's been here for 5 years,
yes.
Guys. All right,
going on 5 years.
Going on 5 years, so
Almost
he's been in the trenches here.
Almost there. Obviously, if you're here 5 years, you enjoy China culture.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's many things that I love. There's still some things that are difficult to get used to, but overall, it's great. I love it. I love the food culture, the community aspect of China. I really enjoy it.
Good. Something that Mike's actually been really good about here in China is developing his language skills. You're really good at Chinese. He's really good at Chinese. Talk a little bit about that. Yeah, we 2 episodes ago we did a talking about how important it is to know Chinese, you know, to do business here. So he's really taken that to heart. You want to talk a little bit about that? How difficult was it for you? That kind of stuff. Did you know any before you came over?
No, I knew no Chinese, absolutely nothing. Maybe xie, like thank you and hello when I got here. I did do a 3-month school program at one of the universities here, but most of my Chinese is just being out at the markets, at the factories, at the restaurants, in taxis. Like that's how I learned the language. So my Chinese actually isn't so technical. Yep. But you know, I can get things done. And I've learned how to.
You can interact with people.
Absolutely.
That's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. A lot of times we talk about sourcing. Sourcing is a huge business here in China. A lot of foreigners are doing it. We talk about guys like Ryan Beltran coming over here sourcing his own watches. But this guy, Mike, he is the real deal. He's been sourcing other people's products, sourcing his own products for years now. Anytime I've got a question about sourcing, this is who I turn to. So he's got a lot of knowledge when it comes to getting products made here in China. So before we get started, let's talk a little about your company. What do you guys source right now? Like what do you guys kind of do?
Oh man, we do everything.
There you go.
Run the gauntlet. I think we're up to around 15 different clients right now. We've had different projects that have come and gone over the years, but man, everything. Like you said, we have these handmade bamboo sunglasses, HemingwayStyle.com. We have a whole line of men's fashion accessories, but we do all kinds of different things. Women's designer bags, hair extensions,
all over the board.
All over the board.
All
Sandals, everything.
Okay, so essentially I've seen, you know, where his business has gone and kind of how they're shaping it right now. We're gonna get into that in a little bit, but okay, let's start off with your benefit and what your company offers to clients. I don't know if a lot of people have heard that. So you're a sourcing agent, but what does that mean? What will you handle for people? What do you do? What can you provide?
I guess it's a very
broad, yeah, go broad.
Basic explanation. We're a middleman between the suppliers in China and the businesses. Most of our clients are in the U.S. and Canada at the moment. We do have some clients elsewhere, but majority in North America. So we just act as a liaison for them to get their goods made in China. We basically represent their company, come in, you know, understand what they need, what they're trying to get, what they're trying to accomplish here in China, and seg that to the suppliers that, you know, we've been here for so long. We have a full staff. So I mean, we have a lot of relationships here.
Full staff in China?
Yes. We have 4 Chinese employees at the moment.
Okay. And their office is developing. I really like it. Got a whole showroom going on. Okay, guys, so that's what we want to talk about today on the episode, is the importance of sourcing agents. What benefits do they really give back to their clients based on wherever they're at around the world, and how necessary are they? We talk about it a lot here on the Elevator Life. So I'm going to ask Mike a few questions, and then we're going to kind of spitball on our experiences here in China and how we've seen it go down. A lot of people, when they're getting started, I don't want to call it naive, you know, it's just, well, it is naive that they just don't know, you know, they haven't done it. So a lot of people will come in and they have this idea that they can try and come over here and do it themselves.
Right.
What's been your experience with that? Because, you know, all of us have seen that countless times.
Definitely. I think sometimes I use the reference that sometimes people in the States think China's like a big Walmart.
There you go.
You know, we're getting our product made in the U.S. right now for X number of dollars. We search on Alibaba, find it for $4 cheaper. Boom, I'm gonna go to China and get it done. But the reality of the situation is it doesn't really work like that. China operates much differently. You need to know where your product's coming from. You need to know the people who are making it. You need to understand the entire process that is manufacturing production in China, and it's a beast. It takes a long time to learn the reins.
It does. Yes. It does. It's definitely not a simple process. I had a conversation with you a few weeks ago, and we were talking about some of the main difficulties when someone is trying to source a product, whether they be new or old. One of those was cultural understanding. Okay, so can you talk a little bit about that? The differences that do really exist between the West and here in China. What works there doesn't necessarily work here, right?
Definitely. I think I remember I was telling you, sometimes we have such a straightforward idea of how to get something done. It's so black and white. Like,
for us especially,
right?
You know,
this is how you get it done. But the same principles don't exist here in China. You know, one thing I always like to say is Americans especially, I know people watching the show are from all over the world, but especially Americans, time is money.
100%.
You know, we get it done now.
That's how we act.
Absolutely, and that mentality leads to Americans trying to be aggressive. Like, that's how I'm going to get it done. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to go in. I'm going to make it happen. But, you know, we say TIC, this is China. Like, you can't do it like that.
Can't do it like that.
You have to understand who you're dealing with. You have to take it slow. You have to create a relationship with the people you're working with, and those things take time. They take experience. They take knowing how to, you know, basically manipulate the situation to be beneficial for all parties.
100%. And I like how you said that. It does take time. We always get people that think they're going to come in and go, I'm going to do this. I got a 3-week time span, and I'm going to be here in China on the ground. I'm going to, you know, find my manufacturer. I got a few contacts off Alibaba, so I'm going to go meet with them.
Good luck.
Good luck. See, and that's what I want you to hear straight from his mouth.
Yes.
You get a lot of that, I bet. You know, that's another thing that I really want to talk about is the benefit that agents and guys like you do provide to clients, because I've seen it personally, and it is a huge service. Okay, you supply huge value to clients back in the States. You actually allow them to reach their arms and take advantage of the Chinese market, okay? And so a lot of people will see this as an upfront cost because that's how it operates. You know, you're obviously a middleman. So some people, like how they operate in the States, they see that as a extra added cost.
Right.
Okay? When someone goes, oh, I don't know, I saw it as $4 over here, you're charging me $5.50 or $6. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here and maybe get it for $4. What goes through your mind? Are you like, oh no, there goes my business, or do you not see it like that?
Initially, I mean, I started this business from the ground up. So initially, I was very anxious to get clients.
Get clients.
Absolutely.
Get clients. Yeah.
Any sort of business I could get my hands on, that's what I wanted to do. So at first, that was a little bit intimidating. You know, oh man, he knows how much this costs.
Exactly.
What do I do? But I mean, now at this point, just because I've been doing it so long and I know how to get it done, I know what it takes to get it done right. By all means.
By all
Please,
means.
go ahead and try to hack it out, you know, with a Chinese supplier from the other side of the world. Good luck.
See, guys, and I love when he says that, because what he's saying, what he's saying is, I know how difficult it can be. I know the value that we provide, and it's totally worth what we're charging. If you want to try and spend your time to get it done, go ahead.
Right, and I think you're asking what is the value of a sourcing agent. A sourcing agent, one, I mean, we're entrenched here in China.
In the culture, on the ground, with the manufacturer.
Exactly. So we maintain daily contact with these people. They're part of our circle. But also, I mean, me and my business partner Randy, we're from the States.
Yep.
So I mean, we bridge the gap between the two cultures. We understand your needs. We understand how you think, and as you know, a company back in the States.
And you can interact with them.
Sure, 100%. And also, you know, sometimes it's very difficult to understand why a Chinese supplier would do something.
Oh.
You know, I mean, you even me. I mean, so many times I've been looking at a situation, looking at something that was produced, a sample that was made, and I'm just like, how could this happen?
How did you actually make this?
What was your thought process to get to this point? But I mean, you know, now I'm able to look at that and explain what happened and how we can take steps to get through it and make it work.
Let's talk about we're talking about all these benefits of a sourcing agent, okay? So you must have a ton of stories on actual problems that you've run into, or things that haven't worked out, or a product line that went totally wrong, okay? And why it happened. Can you kind of tell maybe one story that will illustrate for them really?
Sure.
They can actually do something like that?
Sure. I'll try to make them quick. I have two stories. The same company, same brand. It's actually a company that my sister started. She's based out of Los Angeles. It's called LJS Brand.
Okay.
It's
LJS Brand?
LJSbrand.com. It's a women's fashion accessory brand, and we do all the manufacturing for her products. And there's two different stories. I'll try to make it quick. The first one was we wanted to make a line of t-shirts.
Okay.
Very basic white tee with her logo on it, and we had a sample.
Super basic.
We had a sample of the product, of the exact product we wanted, and on the back neck of the product was a small label.
Okay.
It was a different company's label, and then we provided our LJS label, LJS brand label that we wanted in the same spot. Okay, so take this label, put it right there. Everything else is exactly the same. And the supplier said, no problem. I've been doing clothes in China for 15 years. I'm your guy. 3 to 5 days later, we come back, and the logo is not only in the wrong spot, but it's gigantic letters on the front of the shirt upside down.
Oh.
So, you know, sometimes when you're thinking, how could you see that happen and then think it's okay to give to us? So I mean, stuff like that happens. Another thing is another thing that sourcing people can help you with is quality control.
Quality control is a huge thing.
It's very big. Even if, you know, for example, these sunglasses, you know, we've ran off a few orders and we go back to the factory and say, hey, we want another order. It's not that simple. Sometimes, you know, things can still happen, and you know, we talk with perhaps the boss of the factory, but the boss of the factory tells the line manager. The line manager is telling the people on the line. Things get lost along the way, so sometimes, you know, you're not getting what you need. You need to inspect it. You need to inspect the people who are making your goods.
Let's stop for a second on that. He goes, we talk to the boss, he talks to the line manager, down the line. Guys, they're talking to the boss in Chinese. Okay, some people that come over here and try and do it themselves, they're going to try and meet with someone that represents the factory that might kind of speak English, and they're meeting with them because they speak English. Their boss doesn't speak English. So if they're trying to do it themselves, that you can see where the communication gets lost and how much harder it comes to get actually your product developed.
Sure.
When you're not actually talking to the decision makers.
Sure. And you might do a spectacular job, telling the people what you want, and that first line of contact, he or she might completely understand what you want. But that doesn't mean your products are going to get made how you want them to.
100%, 100%. Okay, we're talking about quality control.
Right. So we're making a handbag, and they screwed up. We ran a whole order, and they didn't make them correctly. So they said, hey, we apologize. We know it's wrong. We want to fix it. We're going to do it tomorrow, which doesn't happen very often. I was really impressed with that. But they started the next day. They started to make them. We said, hey, we're going to come. We're going to come. We're going to check them out. So let's say it was 100 bags. So we came and inspected the first 30 to be made. And it was something simple. The bag is like this. You have a zipper here. You open it from this direction. So on the inside part of the bag where the zipper starts, there's a key ring where you can put your keys and hang them outside of the bag. The first 30 were perfect. We said, hey, this is exactly what we want. This is marvelous.
Make this.
And we left. Went to go get lunch. We came back, and the last 70 had the key ring on the other side. So they completely reversed
Just because.
the bag. Just because. Somebody changed it up, and they kept running with it. So, you always have to have your eyes on the product. And if you're in the US or South Africa or Bangladesh, and you're expecting, to do this all through emails and phone calls, it's not the easiest thing to do.
Exactly, guys. And so that's a little run through, and I just love having those conversations because I've seen them firsthand as well, that the services that these guys provide it's just so valuable. A lot of people, especially in the Western world, when they're looking at it from the outside in, they see it as an upfront cost. But really, guys, what it is it's a necessary expenditure to get your business going in the right direction. These guys can help you set up a turnkey manufacturing system. They can run it for you. They can make sure you get the products that you need, okay, and that you're focusing on the main parts of your business, which should be actually selling the product. There's no reason for a business owner to be on the ground doing what he's been doing for years and years and years, trying to learn as he goes along, when you really should be selling your product.
And I will say, if that's the path you want to take, if you want to be here in China and monitoring this whole process, by all means take it on, go ahead and do it. But you do need to understand that it's a huge time commitment. It really is. You have to put everything, full foot forward and just go after it. And if you're expecting to do that, like I said, from the other side of the world, it's a really difficult task. 100%.
Okay, so I've seen this guy's business kind of transform over the last year. You really started in making other people's products. Okay, you would take it, source it. Now these guys have kind of taken on a lot of interesting new, visions of what you guys want to do. And so this is going to be really interesting for these guys. I know you guys are starting to actually brand some products. Okay, you started now. You've kind of taken a back seat on that. Okay, but you helped develop them. Now you're also trying to do some stuff in China, which I think is really interesting. So can you talk a little bit about how your kind of business has changed and what, other entrepreneurs love hearing what other entrepreneurs are like planning on doing what they're doing.
Sure. Yeah, we do have a couple brands that we've kind of taken ownership in, partial ownership, and we've partnered up with people in the States who are good at, finding markets.
Selling.
Selling. They have the customer, they have the means to sell the product, and we know how to get it made. So it's, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. So, that's one aspect of the business, like you just mentioned. But also, I mean, as many of you know, China's where it's at, and that's where much of the world is moving to, and people here are just, they have so much more disposable income.
100%.
They want cool things. For us, we're mostly based in the fashion industry. We've done other things. We've stepped outside and done different industries, but I'd say the most part's fashion. And they want Western fashion, and they have the money to spend, and it's not as mature of a market as, say, USA or Europe.
Of course.
They're not.
That's also kind of exciting, though.
Absolutely. It's that Wild West thing that
Wild West, baby.
About,
Go get it.
And taking some of the ideas that we have in the States and applying them here
to this market.
But at the same time, understanding how Chinese people think and what they want. It's a pretty awesome opportunity, and we're trying to be firsthand.
So from what you're getting at, you're trying to sell your products in China, right?
Absolutely.
How you guys gonna go about that?
Can't give you all my secrets, man.
Come on.
No, I mean, we're simultaneously developing products in the States and in China.
Okay, and that's new, right?
I think
kind
so.
of China thinking for you guys.
For us, absolutely. For us, absolutely. We've been slowly getting the ball rolling over the last 6 months, and that means internet shops. We've already opened internet shops. We're doing a ton of social media based in China, which is different from what we know, which is
really
Twitter,
different.
Facebook.
Really different.
You know, they have different programs. You know, reaching out to some bloggers, some fashion magazines, trying to get involved in fashion events, looking forward, trying to maybe even get into some brick and mortar locations and some larger, more legitimate online shops as well. So
awesome.
getting it going.
Sounds great, man. I love it, guys. That was just kind of a little glimpse into a hustler over here on the ground, getting really at it, moving his business forward, taking new angles, trying to see where, you know, the opportunities are. And so, guys, today we want to thank Mike for coming on the show.
Appreciate it, man.
So much knowledge. If you guys have any sourcing questions, feel free to reach out. Give us some comments. What's your website?
Our website is sourcefindasia.com.
There you go.
You can go check it out. We have some content you can view, and yeah, if you have any questions, just contact us through the site.
Exactly, guys. So once again, thanks for coming on the site, guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Sourcing agents, they give you so much value over here in China. Use them. That's our advice.
China peace sign.
Later, guys.